Hey gang, it's Chris Johnstone here. On this Friday of the Loan Officer AI Breakfast Club, we are going to go over how to make your CRM an AI assistant, and we're actually going to talk to users of the Loan Officer AI CRM and get their opinions on how they're using the CRM, what type of results they're seeing, and if you have a CRM and you're looking for the best way to implement it in your business, you're not going to want to miss this show. So this Friday, Loan Officer Breakfast Club, looking forward to seeing you there.
I would argue that how many houses that are on the market, how much inventory there is, how much they're going to have to borrow is more important, much more important than an 1/8 or 1/4%. We, as a general public, we got way too interest rate focused in 2020 and 2021. Oh, I got 3.5, or my brother-in-law got 3 1/8. I got 2.75. Like, it's not coming back ever, unless a plane flies into a building, or there's a pandemic and a wet market, or something. I don't know, but it's not a normal interest rate. Those of you that are doing the Carl and the Frank and the Jimmy Reed and the refi program, you're up 29% this year over last year. Look at conventional mortgages, up 10%, right? Purchases, you still see that number up 5, up 4.9. I'm just going down the right-hand column, right? Refis, conventional refis, up 18%. Most conventional refis, a lot of them rate and term, right? Still up 18%. Even though the market essentially went from 6 to 6.5. Teresa had a good question in the chat. How do you deal with clients that want to wait for the rates to come down? I would just ask them, you've got in most areas of the country, right? Maybe a few markets in the Midwest and the Northeast, you're still going up at 5 or 6%. But if you do an analysis, right, of let's say your interest rate that you're offering is 6.5%, and you're going to borrow $300,000, right? Then say they want to wait till rates come down to 6.25. Say they want to rates come down to 6 1/8. Well, what if they had to borrow an extra $50,000 because the market's now going back up and inventory is lower? So there's more competition and it's more of a seller's market. What happens to your payment? You just waited and you got zero benefit.
Right.
COVID was great for our industry in a lot of ways, but it ruined our industry in a lot of ways, right? Because us as loan officers, we got super lazy because we could just pick up the phone. Okay, here's the rate. Let's lock you in. But now, like doing an old school consultation like you're talking about, we're delivering high value, right? We're showing them that we're advising them.
So good.
Listen, just to your point, Brandon, I heard somebody say that 2020 and 2021 was like hunting, where you would drive your Ford F-150 through the forest and the deer would jump into the back of the truck.
It's like fishing with dynamite, right? Just
That's
drop
right.
it in.
That's right. Can't do that anymore. You got to park the truck, set up camp, get in the blind, make sure you're downwind, and do your stuff, right?
So of the slides that you shared this morning, I get this question sometimes. Is there one in particular that you would suggest would be good for us to send to our real estate agents? Like if you were going to pick one of those.
Yeah, it would be the mortgage applications one. And I would just highlight in yellow, like in your Adobe or whatever you're using. I would say, hey, look, we're up. The market is active, right? It's not overheated. It's active. So if you're sitting on the sidelines and we go back to an appreciating real estate market, guess what? You're going to lose. You want to rent for another 7 years? What are you waiting for? So anyway, that would be the one that I would use.
Since you're sort of at a high level and you get a sense of what pricing looks like across the industry, if you were talking to the consumer, how would you tell them to shop for a loan, right? The news is always telling them rate. How do you simplify an explanation of how our business actually works and what people should really shop for?
I mean, I would go back to the classic question, and I know a lot of you are friends with Dave Savage, who's the mortgage coach guy. He's a good friend of mine. I'm channeling my inner Dave Savage. I would would start with the overall financial education, right? And to me, that begins with, what are your goals? You know, how long are you going to stay in the house? How long are you going to stay in the mortgage, right? If you're likely to need, if appreciation returns and you spend and you're likely to need a cash out mortgage in 2, 3, 4 years, well, then it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pay points to lower the rate, because you're not going to stick around in that mortgage to get the benefit of those points. If you're a saver and you max out your 401k and you live within your means and all that kind of stuff, well, then you're probably better off to pay a little bit more in points and get a lower rate and live in that mortgage, and you will financially benefit from it. That's the path I would go down with people, is education. What's your goal, and what do you think? Where do you think you're going to be in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? And let me help put you in the financial product that's going to give you the most juice out of the orange if you accomplish your goals.